was 3:33 a.m. when I saw my name on the whiteboard in interview room 1. Not just my name, CSD, Miller, but underneath it, Lac du Bonnet Bridge, West Pillar, buried deep. That last part, nobody outside the core investigation team for the Wiebe case knew about. Not even Dispatch. The detachment in Riverton was usually quiet at that hour. Just the hum of the old fridge in the break room and the wind rattling the single-pane windows. I'd been chasing paperwork on the Wiebe disappearance for weeks. Missing girl, 11 years old, gone since late October. The community was on edge, and so was I. My shift was nearly over, just finishing up some logs. I remember thinking, someone's messing with me. I wiped the board clean, figured it was CSD. Dubois. He was always a bit of a joker, and we'd been on each other's nerves, both stressed about Wiebe. But then, a few nights later, after a long patrol out near HNASA, I came back in. My mug, the one with the chipped rim, was on my desk, but the coffee inside was still hot. I'd left it empty that morning, and taped to the bottom of it a newspaper clipping from the *Interlake Spectator*, dated weeks ago, circled in red. No new leads in Wiebe case. My name was visible in the article's byline from an earlier quote I'd given. Dubois wouldn't do that. He wasn't that subtle or that weird. No one else was on shift. The whispers started after that. Faint, like the radio catching a distant signal, but always just out of reach. In the empty cell block, I'd hear snippets, didn't check, or what were they doing? I'd snap my head around, but nothing. Just the silence. I started sleeping at the detachment, too wired to go home, telling myself I was catching up on Wiebe. I'd look at my reflection in the dark windows of the office, and sometimes, just for a split second, I'd see other faces behind me, distorted, accusing. Old man Wiebe's face, the girl's mother, the town council, the news anchors. One night, I was reviewing aerial photos. I'd stepped away for a minute, just to stretch. When I came back, the photos were spread out, but one was flipped over. On the back, someone had drawn a crude map. A familiar map. The area around the Lac du Bonnet Bridge, and a small X marked precisely where the West Pillar would be. My stomach dropped. I tore it up, threw it in the shredder. But a few hours later, doing a records check on a completely unrelated traffic stop, my computer screen, which had been on the RCMP internal database, suddenly changed. It was an archived news article from the Winnipeg Free Press *, a story about police incompetence from decades ago. And the byline, my name again. No, not my name. A name asterisk like asterisk mine. And the picture, it was a black and white photo of a young officer, looking exactly like my father when he was first on the force. My father, who'd been disgraced for mishandling a case years ago, before I was even born. I felt cold. Was I losing it? Was someone trying to make me lose it? The pressure from the community was immense. Every time I went to the gas station, the grocery store, I felt eyes on me, judging. Silent. Waiting. I stopped sleeping. The whispers became shouts. The reflections became full, angry faces. I started leaving the lights on, all of them. I'd pace the detachment, checking every room, every corner. I wrote notes to myself, trying to track what was real and what wasn't. check the bridge again. Did I miss something? They're watching. I started seeing articles everywhere, even on blank paper, detailing my failures, quoting imaginary townspeople condemning me. I locked myself in my office, tried to make sense of the Wiebe file, but the words blurred, replaced by accusations. The last thing I remember clearly was the sound of the front door opening. Not CSD, Dubois, not dispatch. It sounded like a crowd. A murmur of voices, growing louder, filling the detachment. I hid under my desk, clutching my sidearm, convinced they were coming for me, coming to judge me, to punish me for failing Wiebe. They found me there. Not a crowd, but Dubois and a supervisor from Gimli. They said I was incoherent, catatonic. The walls of my office were covered. Notes, clippings, maps, all cross-referenced with my name, with the Wiebe case, with my father's old shame. They sent me to the facility in Selkirk. They called it stress leave. The Wiebe case is still unsolved. The town moved on eventually. Found new things to talk about, new people to watch. But sometimes, late at night, in the quiet of my room, I can still hear them. The whispers, the silent judgment. And I wonder, was it just me? Or did that town, that whole community, somehow manage to break me with nothing but their eyes and their desperate, silent questions?